Hello everybody, welcome back to OCD Hi-Fi Guy. I wanted to do a quick follow-up here on one of the bits here, one of the vids where I was showing about how to value a product, and I'm referring to the one where I was referring to that server, and in particular to the innuous server. Again, I just grabbed it out of the blue, did not know anything about it or what have you, and then I made a couple, while I was looking at it, I made a couple guesses, like, possibly this is like this could be like this, and I want to straighten something out just for the record, because after subsequently afterward I found out through some research that I found out that the motherboard is proprietary. I mean, it's made by Supermicro. It's made by a company that that is a big corporation. It appears as though they did in fact have them commission. They did commission some to be made for them in a certain manner, which is a manner consistent with keeping the motherboard low noise. Like if you remember, I was talking about the BIOS that's on there, that's on every motherboard, and that how you can go in and turn things off in order to keep RF down. Well, the next step would be to remove those components from the motherboard, which looks like they have gone and done. So kudos to them for going ahead and doing that. They have made some moves towards making the board at least custom. It's an off-the-shelf board, but then they had custom things done to it, like take these parts off, remove this, remove the BIOS. They made their own BIOS from scratch, which is pretty cool. And so, it just it just happens that they are I was putting together servers back in the day for other companies, and they weren't as shall we say, enterprising as these guys are in doing their own BIOS and all that kind of stuff. So hats off to the guys over there for creating their own BIOS, for taking off the hardware and the chips and junk that they don't need on the board for music playback. So it is a little more. It is definitely not an off-the-shelf something that you could go buy. What I laid out to you guys is definitely something you could go buy, and maybe you could compare it and see if they come close. But theirs should sound better. I would imagine it would if they're doing things such as removing hardware, removing actual components from the board that emit RF. That's a great idea. Now, what I do in lieu of that is I put absorber, or anybody could put, I shouldn't say I, but anybody that wants to make one could just put RF absorber on top of those chips that emit and greatly cut down on the emission, but it's not as good as removing the chip. I mean, that's the best way to do it, period. Short of making your own motherboard, which would be very expensive. So I just wanted to add that up because I know some people got really sore. I was not trying to take it out on the company, man. I was just trying to pick something and price it. So I felt that it would be prudent of me to follow up here and say that in fact they did have a proprietary motherboard. So they're better than most, let's put it that way, on what they've done. It appears as though things aren't always what they appear. And so in this case, it was a good discovery. We found out that they did, in fact, make their own proprietary changes to that motherboard on a component level. Well, so that's pretty cool. Okay, so I just wanted to follow up with that, and hope you all have a good night, and we'll see you soon with some more shootouts and so forth. I'll talk about that in the next vid. All right, see ya.